Hello everybody, my name's Konami Nika, and welcome back to the unboxing, where today we are continuing our look at the SH Figuarts Sailor Moon line. I had to stop myself from saying Kamen Rider because that's the line I collect the most of, but we are taking another look at the animation color editions of these different Sailor Moon Figuarts by taking a look at who I hope is appropriate for being the next Sailor Scout that we look at, that being one Sailor Mars. Okay, let's recenter the camera slightly as we take a look at this figure with its absolutely massive box. Yeah, I mean, I shouldn't say that. It's not, like, inherently super bigger, so, like, here's Mercury's, so obviously they're about the same size up front. But the difference comes when you turn it to the side, which we'll get to more in a bit. But, yeah, this one just has a lot more volume in comparison to Moon and Mercury. From what I can tell, I don't quite have it yet, though that'll possibly change by the time you are seeing these videos. I don't quite have Venus and Jupiter yet, but from what I can tell, Venus has a very similar box to this, because they both have a lot more hair. They have longer hairstyles in comparison to the others, so it needs the extra volume for the sake of that space. But without further ado, we can get into the actual box. I'm going to bring in Moon's box as well, because they're both on, I guess, that pinkish spectrum, just because they're going for those softer colors. So hers is very much more orange in its base color, and also has a bit of a fiery tinge to it, which is very nice to see with its patterning. And once again, this line has very nice box art, all things considered. Very nice, very premium. I do enjoy it. On the plastic window, we get a bit more of that fire patterning, as well as the SH Figuarts quote. At the front, we also get the Tamashii Nation seal quality, the Sailor Moon logos, the Tamashii Nations and Bandai logos, as SH Figuarts Sailor Mars, as well as a promotional still of the figure herself. On this side, we get this kind of bookend, spinal look with the purple in the kind of like crystalline background to match the color of the bows. By the way, they match, except for Moon's, I believe they match the colors of the bows for the spines. But yeah, we get to see Mars in another pose with this more, I guess, action-y face. We get her logo, SH Figuarts Sailor Mars Animation Color Edition. At the top, it's got a continuation of the patterning, SH Figuarts Sailor Mars Animation Color Edition. On this side, we get a silhouette of the figure, Sailor Mars Animation Color Edition, SH Figuarts, the logo. The bottom gets the silhouette, Sailor Mars Animation Color Edition, as well as the legal info. On the back, you get a look at a bunch of the different promotional stills, her doing different action poses and whatnot, an image of the different accessories she comes with, as well as her 4 different expression parts, as well as the rest of the legalese. Toei logo, simple style heroic action, Sailor Mars. Let's take a look at this figure, shall we? Hell yeah. Again, this is a thicker box, mainly because of the volume of her hair. They needed to give her the extra room. But yeah, let's open it up and slide the figure out. And then move immediately to the back, because once again, we need to cover the stands that these figures come with. Hopefully I didn't break anything in doing that. I was a bit rougher there, and you can see it with like the tape. Let's just, I guess, there we go. But yeah, let's start with the heart-shaped base for the Tamashii Nation stand, because the stand arm is always the same. Because these figures are designed very similarly. I have a bit of a wonder how this one's going to go. Just thanks to the hair, looking at, like, say, Captain Eustace Kid's cape. But here is Mars's base. As you can see, it's got a nice red color to it. Sailor Mars, we get a silhouette of her, the star patterning, the ribbon right there. Once again, very in line with the other 2 figures stands that we've covered so far, just with Mars-specific detailing and coloring and whatnot. And then we got the stand arm right here, which we can hopefully properly open up here as we can, so that we can make it so that the figure can stand. Yeah, because, again, these figures have tiny, tiny feet. Come on, there we go. Let's get this out of there, shall we? There we are. All right, and then move that like that. Get that plugged right in there. There we go. Yeah, stand arm. Pretty standard. Boom. A-ching. Now let's get some of this tape. Let's check the bottom, see if there's any tape there. Nope. Let's check the top, see if there's any tape there. There is some tape right there. So I'm going to get the tape on the top and this one side out of the way so that we can just slide it off like so. And then, yeah. Alrighty then, let's take a look at what this figure has to offer. First off, we get this tray, which comes with all the basic accessories that the figure comes with. So starting off, let's look at her 3 faces. As per usual with this line, nicely detailed, and from what I can tell, fits the character nicely. She comes with a smiling face right off the bat, but we also get her with a actiony yelling face, a more stern action face, as well as this closed eye face, I believe for specific, like, fiery magic that she does or whatever. And you also get a series of hands. We get 2 right hands, it looks like, that are, like, different types of, like, finger... Oh, wait, no. This one is a pair of hands right here being sandwiched together for the, like, I guess, like a incantation pose or whatever. Then we get this one pointer finger hand for when she's doing pointer finger poses. 2 splayed open hands. 2 different types of fists. It looks like, I don't think, yeah, these 2 don't grip anything. So it's 2 different types of fists, depending on what type of, like, fist style you want. One that's more relaxed or one that is completely closed up. Yeah, this is very nice. This is a nice inclusion. I like that on this line's packaging. However, there's a couple more that are character-specific for Mars. First off, we've got this talisman. If I don't drop it. This is very small and awkward, but it is also very nicely printed. You get the kanji written there very cleanly, very nicely on that nice bit of white plastic. Once again, it's detailed very well. I don't know what it is exactly because, again, I still have yet to see the show. I will get around to it now that I'm collecting these figures because, again, I'm a little freak who does that sometimes. But, yeah. We get those, and it also comes with a hand to hold it. So you essentially just sandwich it in there, and boom, there you go. Again, this is very nicely done in that nice kind of matte cartoony style. It gets the job done. But now, let's take a look at the figure herself. Why don't we? So, let's slide her out, and she's got a little bit of plastic protecting her hair from rubbing off too much of anything else, but here we are. Once again, torso sculpt and I believe arms are very similar to Moon and Mars. If not exactly the same, because, you know, something, sentai, whatever. But it does work well. They all basically wear the same uniform anyways, so it makes sense. However, it is also nicely painted. The colors are nice and vibrant and fit these characters very well. Some of the articulation does worry me and how thin some of the joints are, but just, you gotta be careful from what I can tell with these figures. The red is very nice and very bright and very vibrant. I really like how that looks. And again, the cleanest skirt we've gotten so far from what I can tell, which I appreciate. Yeah, I do like also just the little speck of like that deep purple right there. That does do a lot. Her smiling face does also look very nice. The hair somewhat obscures the crown, but I think that, or the tiara or whatever, but that makes sense for the character. She has a nice smiling expression, and her eyes are nice and characterful. Her hair has a couple of joints in there to make it splay out like so, which is nice, but it will still limit the articulation. That's just how hair tends to be. It's not quite on the level of SHF Power's hair, but again, this is a bit older, so it's impressive what it's able to do even still. yeah, moving the hair out of the way a little bit, you can see the red bow on the back, and it's fairly basic in detailing. One of the biggest changes in this sculpt is the legs. I mean, Mars also had, or not Mars, Mercury also had slightly different legs, but it still had very similar boot patterning. But since she wears just a basic pair of heels, her legs are left bare, which, again, from what I can tell, fits the character, fits her look in the series, and they did a good job with it from what I can tell. Very simple, and has good articulation if a tad basic, but it works. It works for the character. Now, let's see how getting her on the stand works out, just thanks to the amount of hair she has. There might be issues. Yeah, the stand arm, unless you're like, I guess, this, you gotta kind of hold her more towards the base, which is a bit awkward. Or like, let me just try to figure out how to make this work best without getting in the way of the hair too much, because the other two, their hair was able to get out of the way nice and well, but I think this should work. Her head won't be able to move back as much as you might want it to, but you are able to get it out of the way if you just kind of hold it somewhat awkwardly like this. And she's still able to pose. She has the same articulation as the other figures, which is, while a tad awkward, is it's good. It's good articulation. It's just a bit thin and wibbly in some places, so you've got to be careful. But again, these figures do wonders for the color schemes, mainly the skin tones, because like while the metallics are nice of the older style of these figures, man, are those skin tones a bit rough. Let's get her more in center of frame so that you can get a better look at her standing there. But yeah, this is a good figure. I do recommend it if you do get the chance, if you're collecting the Sailor Scouts, or if this is your favorite Sailor Scout. I think it does a fair enough amount of justice to the character, because, I mean, they at least look nice, and if you want an articulated version of these characters, this is going to be the main way to get that. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this little video. Don't forget to do all the usual YouTube stuff. Let me know if you think I should do more content on this line. Go a little bit further, maybe convince me to go a little bit further into the line than I originally planned out. Currently, as of recording, though that could very much change given that there's a bit of a buffer, and this is a buffer video, I don't have any of the other figures other than the Super Sailor Moon that I showed you in the first video, but that'll probably change. But even still, let me know what figures you think I should get out of this line to do videos on, and I will consider it. Don't forget to do all the other usual YouTube stuff. I'm grateful and appreciative for all the support that I'm able to get on these videos and any videos that I make, honestly. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed nonetheless, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye!